Hi, my name is Christian Posta. I'm the Global Field CTO at Solo.io. And this is part 3 in a series on AI agent identity and access management. In part 1, we stepped through the complete flow of using a user's SSO, credentials and identity, to call into an agent, which then could call other agents or call MCP servers. And we saw how to do token exchanges so we can correct the scope and the audience of these access tokens that we use, these JOT tokens, to call into our agents or MCP servers. We've seen how Agentgateway forms the foundation. Agentgateway and ambient mesh form the foundation of agent identity and policy enforcement. And in part 2, we dove a little bit deeper on that subject. Now in part 3, what we're going to do is pop back up a little bit to cover MCP authorization. So we're going to build on the same last two pieces where we have agent identity in place. We are using properly exchanged agent on behalf of tokens. I think this was one of the examples. Actually, we'll step through in a second. And now what we want to do is apply policy to the MCP tools that an agent has access to. So I'm let's clean this up a little bit. We'll refresh this. So I'm logged in. You can see I'm this particular user. I have these particular tokens. If we take a look at the token here, this is the token from the identity provider. So in this case, we're using OIDC. And what you can see is this user is part of the supply chain role. And this user, we've pre-specified ahead of time that these agents can act on behalf of this user. I think I said this in the first part, this is optional, but you can establish this ahead of time so you don't have agents calling other agents where they shouldn't be acting on behalf of the user. All right, so we're logged in now. If I make a call to an agent to get a response, I'll see that. Now if I ask it to call, let's see, perform market analysis, this will call a market analysis agent, which then calls an MCP server. And for demo purposes, I print out the list of tools that this market analysis agent has access to. In this case, what we've done is we've set up multiple backend MCP servers. Here's one for time. Here's one for the server everything demo. And there's another one for the sequential thinking demo. Now, the interesting bit here is that the market analysis agent, if we, let's get out of here. If we take a look at the market analysis agent and just look at how it's configured, it is configured to connect to a single MCP server. So company-MCP. Actually, if we, and no, that's right. So from the market analysis agent standpoint, it's connecting to a single MCP server. But that MCP server is actually the agent gateway, which is this component here. And so what we've done is we've configured Agentgateway to route to multiple back-end MCP servers and multiplex them. So basically we're treating, so if we come back here, if we say, let's take a look at get HTTP route. If we take a look at this right here, take a look at that one. What we'll see here, can we just do this as, all right, I guess I don't have that here. Whatever. Right, so what we see is the HTTP route that routes to a backend. And then this backend, actually I don't have the get backend. Company MCP backend what we can see is this backend actually multiplexes to 3 backend remote MCP servers over HTTP streamable. So that means from a single point of control, we can specify what MCP servers are available to agents and what tools are available. So, and we can write policies about these tools and write policies based on things like agent identity and user on behalf of flows. So let's take a look at a policy. What we can say here is we're going to create a policy that says if you are not authenticated, you will have access to only these tools. Actually, the authenticated parts are commented out. So if we apply this will be demo company policy, then this will basically just restrict all access to the MCP server to just these tools, regardless of how many MCP servers are configured. So if we come back here and we call this again, so you can see we have a number of tools available to us now, but if we run this again, what we should see is that the number of tools available to us now is actually cut down quite a bit to just those 2. All right, and so we did this with a policy. So if we do the demo, let's take a look at this policy. Oh, yeah, okay, 2. Right, so now in this case, what we want to say is only users in the supply chain role can access the rest of the tools. Everyone else, or if you're not authenticated, you only have access to echo and to add. So supply chain, if you're in the supply chain group, you have access to the rest of the tools. So if I apply this, and of course we saw in the token that we do have access to supply chain, right? We're in that role. We should be able to, now if I make a call, we should see the rest of the tools. And we do. Now, what if we were not logged in as this user? Actually, I think there's a few other rules in here that would prohibit the user from even calling. So actually, let's just keep going with the policies. Now, if we take a look at policy 3, well, we applied it. We'll at least take a look at it. So now in this, what we're saying is, if you're in the supply chain role, then you have access to the sequential thinking MCP server and those tools and the MCP and the time. So if we have a number of MCP servers, we can, based on user, based on agent, based on roles and groups memberships, we can say you can only see these MCP servers. So in this case, sequential thinking and time. So let's refresh that. Try to run it again. We should be only exposed to the, as we expected, the MCP time, the echo and add, which are available to everybody, and then sequential thinking. So using Agentgateway, we're able to have very fine-grained control over what agents acting on behalf of what users and their roles and groups are allowed to see which tools and which MCP servers, whether they're remote MCP servers, locally deployed, doesn't matter, but you can take into account and enforce these fine-grained policies, even in scenarios where you're multiplexing the MCP servers. That is a unique feature to Agentgateway. So thanks for joining. This was part 3 of the agent Identity and Access Management series.